Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Captain Dai, and welcome to Focus Training 201. If you're in the wrong class, well, I suggest you get going. I wouldn't want anyone to feel the wrath of Captain Jin now.
If you don't give me an answer in 3 seconds, rookie, I'm gonna blast your brains out!
Before we dive into the fun stuff about focus training, I want to address an ongoing problem us faculty have noticed lately. In recent months at Cajun Koi Academy, there's been a growing trend where rookies are taking too many notes. Even in my own lecture, as I speak, all I hear is the furious smashing of laptop keys, keeping pace with my every word. Yes, Neil, I'm looking at you. So let's talk note-taking. To begin the discussion, let's talk about why rookies feel they need to take notes in the first place, and this enormous problem that actually causes. And then I'll address the burning question you have. Should you take notes at all? And if you absolutely have to take notes, what's the best way to do so? So why do rookies take notes at all? We take notes because we're fearful that we'll forget that information. So our natural instinct kicks in and we want to write it down. So in lecture, we basically have a situation where rookies are transcribing or copying word for word what their captains are saying so they can look at it later. In theory, this seems like a pretty good plan. You know, technically, all the information you need is being taken down for you to have for later. But taking notes like this is actually severely slowing down the learning process, and allow me to explain why. There's a concept in neuroscience called cognitive load. Cognitive load is simply our brain's total capacity for working memory. Think of cognitive load like power in your battery. Everything we do requires cognitive load. This includes writing and typing, fighting your inner demons, and solving problems in our head. The thing is, our brain's cognitive load is fairly small, and we can't manage more than a few things in our working memory at any given time. The problem is, in order to understand a concept we're learning about, we need to use a substantial portion of our cognitive load and let our working memory analyze it and think about it. Taking notes, whether by hand or by typing, requires more cognitive load than we expect, and therefore we aren't able to focus enough of our working memory on the learning process, and we can't actually encode any of that information. And rookies, if we aren't able to make sense of the material while it's in our working memory, then it's going to be forgotten. What that means is we actually have a very small window of time to process what we read or hear in lecture, or else we don't actually learn it. So as you can imagine, taking notes is delaying the learning process because nothing we take in is actually being processed for understanding. What we're doing is delaying the learning process until later, until after lecture, when we take time to review them. Instead, what we should try to do is be more present and focus our entire cognitive load on learning. Let that information sit in our working memory. We need to think about it, make connections, ask questions, and process it right there on the spot. Transcribing notes is basically saying, I'm not going to learn this information right now because I'm scared I might forget it, so I'm going to write it down and learn it later. Rookies, let me share a brief story from my personal experience to hammer in this idea way back when I was a third-year medical student at Cajun Koi Academy. When I started clinical rotations, I started seeing patients. This meant gathering their history and physical and whatnot, and then presenting that information to my bosses, my attending doctors. And being a rookie interviewer, I was afraid that I would forget what patients told me. So I'd bring in scratch paper and take notes. But it was always really hard for me to focus and properly ask questions. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why. Okay. And last question. Do you have sex with men, women, or both?
What does that have to do with getting stabbed in the eye?
Oh, right. I was just trying to be thorough. Then one day, one of the resident rangers told me to just go talk to the patient without taking any notes. Just go in and be present and hang out with them. You know, really listen to their problems, hear their complaints, but don't worry about writing anything down. And I thought, what do you mean? I'm gonna forget everything. But he told me, just give it a try. It was incredible the difference it made. I was so surprised that I was actually able to pretty much remember everything. I asked more insightful questions, thought about differentials on the spot, all because I was more focused. My entire cognitive load was used learning from my patient, not taking notes. Anyway, moral of the story, rookies, it's all about focus. When we spend cognitive load on note-taking, we can't focus on learning. So focus. Now, with all this being said, note-taking is not completely useless. If you're like our rookie here, Neil, and you can't imagine a study day where you don't take notes, allow me to introduce Captain Dai's 2 principles for amazing notes, if you must take them. Principle number 1. Your notes must be concise and written to improve comprehension. This means no transcribing, rookies, no mindless scribbling, and no plagiarizing your textbooks. Only ever take down notes after you've let that information sit in your working memory and you've focused on understanding it. Then, once you've formed a coherent thought, you can consider writing it down in your own words. Putting it in your own words forces you to think about it differently and actually understand it. Now, if it's better to organize your thoughts in a diagram or a mind map or some kind of photo, that is also acceptable. But make it clear, make it concise, and put it in your own words. Examples of acceptable notes that fulfill principle number 1 include the Feynman technique, which condenses ideas into their simplest forms, any kind of mind map or T-tree used to structure and relate ideas to the bigger picture, or flowcharts, organizing concepts in their flow of events. Principle number 2, your notes must be reviewable with active learning. This means your notes must be useful products for studying later on as well. If taking notes do not prevent a valuable tool for reviewing, then why did you make them in the first place? You're better off going back to the main resource than looking at your chicken scratch. This means big walls of text are not useful for review. This means those binders full of color-coded handwritten notes are not useful for your review. Because rereading notes is passive and doesn't engage any higher order learning. Examples of acceptable notes that fulfill principle number 2 include making spaced repetition flashcards, which employ both active recall and spaced repetition. You got that, rookies? Those are my 2 principles. Any other forms of note-taking will not be tolerated in my class, and they shouldn't be tolerated in your study system either. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Captain Dai.
Music to my ears. Now then, rookies, let's begin our first exercise of focus training. I'm about to release into each of your rooms a dozen spiders. These are the rarest and largest breeds of spiders in the entire universe, and they love to explore. Your job is to remain still and focused. Misty, are we ready to release the spiders?
On it, Captain.
Good luck, rookies.